and welcome to the Football9 Show. As you can see, I'm not your regular host. I don't have long hair and don't have a strange pitch, but I am being joined by my colleagues. Joining me on to this show is Kavir Naqvi and of course
everyone knows me here.
Yes.
But I'm very excited to share the stage with two new guys, and I'm very sorry if I get too personal, but it is what it is.
Yes.
So let's move forward.
Don't worry about it, man.
So, what was the first match?
So first we are going to talk about Brighton's win over Man City.
Oh, sizzling stuff.
Yes.
Sizzling stuff.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Where do you want to start? I mean, I know that everybody wants to say that, the pep talks aren't working in the dressing room anymore. And maybe Pep Guardiola, he's lost a little bit of a sheen. But, what they say is that, class is permanent and form is temporary and all that stuff. Those adages doing the rounds on Instagram. I think the Kevin De Bruyne factor not necessarily helping him out at this point in time. The Guardiola factor he's not coming in helping him every other game. And there needs to come the sweet design of life is that, once you hit a peak and pinnacle, the only way back is down. So, you have to come back down somewhere, and everybody was questioning about it. People were saying Alex Ferguson bhi kabhi-kabhar apne matches haar jate the. He also had a torrid couple of seasons in the middle. I think Pep Guardiola is going through that phase, but he's, with the confidence with which he still goes out on those press conferences and, he's still talking to the media, answering all those questions head on, scratching his forehead every time. He's still the same person. He's still the same person.
But here's a question for you, and for you as well. Like, do you think the injury of Rodri played a big role? Because I feel they do not have a proper backup to Rodri in this squad.
Hands down.
And after he got injured, that's where the problem started. That's where the Mount Rushmore of football, as we say it, started to fall down.
I personally think because Gundogan was brought back. And, there was a lot of, hectic parlaying between whether Gundogan should come back or not. He was pairing up really nicely with Lewandowski and the Barca, cadre as well. Him coming back before Rodri's injury, people said that, all right, they now have a backup plan for Rodri. But it seems like that's not helping them out the way Rodri was doing something that no other buddy was going to do. The dirty work for the team. Very controversial on that front as well. But, it's good to see a defensive midfielder winning the Ballon d'Or. I think the last time I remember was, Fabio Cannavaro winning the Ballon d'Or as a defender with that bicycle kick clearance in the World Cup. That was phenomenal. So Rodri getting that, keeping the Ballon d'Or issue aside, he is a great player with or without the Ballon d'Or. He's handled that central defensive position and with such suave, with such, immaculate compassion as well. People are comparing him with the likes of primetime Casemiro, with the likes of, a primetime central defensive midfielder like Jordan Henderson. I think he's above all of them. With his age, his height, his build, his physicality, and man, that guy's got a freaking shot outside the box.
Do you put Rodri above peak Casemiro?
I would put Rodri above peak Casemiro, yeah.
The three-peat Casemiro?
Yeah. I would put him above that.
Guys, I don't know what to say about
and he's currently playing for United, the team that I love. And I'm so happy that Casemiro is in United because you need the guy with the right kind of vision and the right kind of, patience as well. Because the minute the game changes its play, you've sort of like taken the possession from the other team. It depends where you are on the pitch, how many of your players are up there. Everybody wants to quickly, throw a through ball to Vinicius Jr. or a Marcus Rashford and like, hey man, I've thrown my ball. Now you do the run like a dog behind that ball and try to put it inside the box. Garnacho wants to do that. Rashford wants to do that. But Casemiro, players like Casemiro, like Rodri, they still take a little second and be like, all right, you know what? I think right now, Christian Eriksen, or in case of Manchester City, Phil Foden, who's so hungry for the ball, he'll always drop down. Like, I'll give it to Phil Foden, let him dictate the play. So Rodri is definitely up top there. And we haven't even seen the best of the guy. This is his first injury. He's already being sorely missed. But coming back to Brighton versus Man City, I think we're talking more about City. Let's not take away from the fact that Brighton are a phenomenal team. They have bbeen working really well. I've been hating Alex Ferguson for letting Danny Welbeck go back in the day. What a great striker he's turned himself into. But you've got, Pedro, who's come out as this
That's the funny bit, right?
Yeah.
He was the backup for Joao Pedro. Now, Pedro got injured. And now Danny Welbeck is starting every match because he's scoring in every match.
Yep.
Right. I mean, you do not expect that from Danny Welbeck. He spent 2 seasons as a backup striker
Yeah.
in different clubs. Then he comes to Brighton and takes away that spot from
Changes things around. Changes things
Exactly.
around. I mean, I remember Muape was the striker for Brighton.
Yeah, he
and
doesn't get a chance anymore.
He's been kicked out.
Yeah.
He's been kicked out essentially. And that's what the situation is in Brighton. So even though Manchester City had more of possession in the entire game, they did miss Rodri. I think Phil Foden is not coming up with the goods that he should have.
I also feel that they do not have a decent backup for Erling Haaland.
Yeah, striking.
Yeah.
They let go Julian Alvarez.
Yeah. What a great striker, by the way. What a great striker.
He was not getting minutes, so he went
Yeah.
to Atletico Madrid.
Yeah.
But they didn't get a proper backup for Haaland. Like in Guardiola's words, he said that they do not have enough players to give minutes to. They have Haaland, who's going to play in every match. But then, if Haaland's not working, who's going to be there to score that goals?
But you know what? I mean, I don't know about you, man. If I have Haaland on my team, 11 times out of 10 times he's playing for me.
Yeah, but if he's not scoring,
Yeah, he's still
What's the
playing.
solution?
He's still playing. Because you see, I can then, and Pep Guardiola does that as well. It's not always, it's the off the ball movement as well. One little push by Haaland and the defender goes to the side. And that's, most of his goals are scored on that prowess. That, you know, he can push the defenders around. He can manage to balance his own heavy weight and, you know, get a strike on. That's his USP. Even with the Brighton game, the ball went ricocheted up to the top bar and somehow went inside. He's nimble with his height and weight also. He's still nimble. So when he's not working out, maybe he can, you know, sort of make decoy runs, help exploit the the loose spaces in a defense, and which is why I think Pep Guardiola needs him. Even I would have done the same. I think it's the wingers on both the sides. You know, Matthias, Nunez, and Savinho. I mean, Riyad Mahrez and Bernardo Silva. I mean, those were a class apart. You know, Riyad Mahrez on his left foot. You knew this was going in. Not so much with Savinho. You know, everybody is giving that classic Arjen Robben vibe, but nobody is unable to capitalize on that Arjen Robben cut inside, left foot curler inside.
but I hope he finds a solution, because as things look now, Man City are not winning the league. Because as we know, in the past 4 seasons in Premier League, the early season till January, the team that has held their position at the top, they have won the league, right? That was Man City.
Yeah.
And it's not them anymore. It's Liverpool.
Yep.
And the gap is 5 points, right? Now, that difference plays a big role
No,
in
it
the
certainly
later
does.
stages.
It
Because
certainly does.
Liverpool doesn't look like they're going to lose.
But this is also Pep Guardiola's longest losing streak, isn't it? Like, this is another record in itself. Pep Guardiola losing 4 games back-to-back, let alone Premier League games. They got a drubbing at the hands of Sporting as well in the Champions League.
Gyökeres
Amorim,
hat-trick.
by the way, ladies and gentlemen, Amorim is at Carrington training with the boys in red. But coming back to the point, he got a massive drubbing over there. This is certainly, I mean, I'm sure that he's had a couple of extra wine glasses at home. Let's just say that.
I mean, I was happy with the way he reacted to it. He said that everything has a first. This is my first 4+. He was happy that I'll figure out a way.
Maybe the first 5th streak and the 6th streak are also right around the corner. You never know.
I'm happy to see City losing.
But all in
That's
all,
I can
man,
say.
Rohin and Nilohit, I personally think that the only thing that's not working out for him right now is that Kevin De Bruyne is not back in his prime, not back in his shape. The man, before he starts firing, I mean, it's going to be a problem for all the other clubs. Let me just tell you that. And 5.6 points is not a big deal unless you reach 19 games, 19th match week, the half point of the Premier League. You shouldn't call out somebody who's a runaway leader or not. I mean, had Liverpool established a lead of 10, 11 points, you would definitely call them.
They're going to face Liverpool in a couple of weeks.
Yep.
That will play a big role, I guess.
Yeah, after they face Tottenham next week, which is going to be a sizzling matchup.
Back to their home ground.
Back to their home ground. But do you see them winning it?
Yep. All right. So next match,
Liverpool.
City versus City. Next week we've got City that they're taking on Tottenham, right?
Yeah.
Tottenham, they have their own defensive turmoil. But what do you think is going to happen in the next match?
I'm going to
Tottenham
go
versus
with
City.
City is winning it. Let's be honest, because Tottenham has been very inconsistent throughout this season. They have been scoring 5 goals in a match, and then in the next match, they're conceding 3.
We call them the Robin Hood of Premier League.
Yeah. They're taking away points from the big teams, I get it. But then it's again
Haven't
City.
they already beaten City once this season already?
Yeah.
Tottenham,
In the
right in the opening days.
Yeah.
They have,
Not in
right?
the Premier League, in the opening days.
All right, and they've also beaten Aston Villa as well. So they are beating big teams, but they're unable to capitalize on their own small games.
Exactly.
They handed Crystal Palace and Ipswich Town their first victories as well. But let me not take that away, Rohin. What are we doing next?
Liverpool versus Aston Villa. I was up at 4 o'clock to do the match report for that. So,
All right, yeah. So give us your brass tacks. What happened essentially?
did I remember from that game? I do remember waking up. That's all I remember.
That also is a tough task. I'll give it to you that. 4 a.m. you're writing a news report, man. Sports has very little shelf life. For all the viewers out there as well, okay? Boss are doing some real tough work. Sports has very little shelf life. Waking up at 4 a.m. to put out a news report for you. Liverpool versus Aston Villa. It was a sizzling affair because I remember I was very excited to watch this game particularly. I wanted to see what Watkins had in store, what Bailey had in store. There's some phenomenal strikers on both these ends, but seemed to be didn't working out for
I'm going to tell you something.
Yeah.
It was working out. But what didn't work out was they couldn't escape that midfield congestion that Liverpool puts. And that's how they have dominated this competition so far, you know?
Liverpool.
That's how Liverpool have dominated
the press.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at the players, Ryan Gravenberch, what a wonderful season he's having. He's the one orchestrating all the defensive work in the back line, right? And again, Aston Villa fell trapped into it. They couldn't escape him, right? And
Aston Villa is known to play out from the back as well.
Exactly, right. They couldn't escape that issue. And then you have Szoboszlai putting the balls up for Salah. And Salah is in a fantastic form. Who can stop Salah right now?
Yeah. Luis, man, look at that guy.
Exactly. And then Luis Diaz. You put him on, you know he will do something. He will get you an assist, or he will help you build up, or he will score for you. That's the kind of players Liverpool
And when Darwin Núñez is scoring, that means the rest are definitely putting in their effort.
I mean,
if Darwin Núñez has netted a ball inside, that means the rest have done their job
the
for
funniest
sure.
thing is that Jurgen Klopp, had this same squad and failed. Kept on failing in
Hey, I have my reservations for that. You can't put that on, man. Firstly, he came when nothing was working out for Liverpool. He made a fantastic midfielder out of Jordan Henderson. He gave Mohamed Salah exactly the place he did. Mohamed Salah was here in Chelsea as well. He gave him another chance. He brought back that new German press into the English football, and he's built up Liverpool to where it is today. Arne Slot's just come in. He's sort of like done a little bit of a niggle-tiggle over here, and it's working out for
Those are important at the end of the day. They're topping the league, isn't it? Those are important. And I feel it's good news for Liverpool because they're doing great in Champions League as well. It's not that just league. They have beaten Leverkusen, who had an invincible season last season.
Amazing season last season,
right? They beat them 4-0 and dominantly. It was not like here and there. They just those were dominant goals. You cannot take that away from Liverpool, you know. And
let's not take that away from Arne Slot as well. So Arne Slot working with the same group of people with the same roster of players doesn't necessarily mean that Jurgen Klopp couldn't do much with the same lads. He's delivered time and again, Champions League, a couple of Premier League trophies as well. They're nearing United's record now. And maybe this season they might just sort of like come one step more closer to it, if not equal it. But Arne Slot, his own expertise, we can't undermine that. He's done that. He's added that little bit of an extra magic. Trent Alexander-Arnold, uska thoda sa time kharab chal raha tha towards the end. He's come and really jumped that back.
Join Real Madrid, please.
It was either Robertson or Trent Alexander-Arnold, and then everybody understood, okay, block these guys out, crosses stop coming in, lesser firepower inside the middle. But I think he's turned it a little bit around. Like you mentioned, Szoboszlai, he's been doing a great job. Just like Rodri, when he fancies himself a shot outside the box, he takes it. And he's got a cracker of a left foot and a right foot as well. So what really happened in Aston Villa is essentially for Aston Villa to go back to the whiteboard and see what they can work out. Because Aston Villa themselves, they're a great team. This time around, they're showing people their actual mettle. Look at what they're doing in the UCL.
Do you expect them to qualify for the next season?
For the top 8. You know what?
No, top 4.
For the top 4 in Premier League.
Yeah, next season
Again. See, we got to wait till the 19th match week, guys.
Why is
19th match week.
Why does it have to be 19th? Why cannot be?
I mean, by logical deduction, 19th match week is the half point of the Premier League season. No. So in half point season, usually people say ki jo team Christmas ke baad top pe and that ends up winning the league. But sometimes we've seen that it also sometimes doesn't happen. So I'm going to hear it when I hear the fat lady sing. But and anything happens in football, man. A 3-0 down game goes to a 4-3 victory within a matter of 10, 12 minutes. Anything can happen. And I mean, the only thing that comes to my mind is how Aguero turned it around against, what team was that?
That should be very traumatic for you.
Yeah, it was traumatic. It was traumatic. I was wearing. We were playing Crystal Palace. They were playing at the Stadium of Lights. What team is that? I'm forgetting the name.
They're playing Norwich,
Queen Park Ranger, QPR. Yeah. And Aguero with his shirt out. He's like, Aguero, and he's running riot like that. And yeah, like dreams just got shattered then. So you don't know right till the last minute, the last point.
So the next one will be handling is Man United versus
Man.
That's personal.
What a time for me to enter this show, ladies and
funniest
gentlemen.
thing
I was
is that-
waiting for United to get back into a little bit of a groove so that I could finally come and join this coveted show.
So here's a question for you. When Ten Hag was there,
Yeah.
players like Garnacho, right, even Hoyland, they felt like they do not have a particular role in that team.
Yeah,
Like
they
they
were
were running
unclear,
around,
yes.
and when they were getting the ball, especially Garnacho, he was trying to make something happen, right? When Ten Hag was there. Now, Nistelrooy has provided something very interesting. Garnacho has been very disciplined in the last match. He has only stayed in the left side of the pitch. He has provided some good passes. He knows his role. He made those runs. And even Hoyland knew his role. He was not running around the pitch. He was carrying away the defenders. He was creating spaces. And he was getting up in those places where the crosses were coming in, right? Which was lacking under Ten Hag. The players felt like they don't know their particular roles. Like if you see the partnership between Casemiro and Ugarte, how many times have you seen Ten Hag doing that?
Yeah, so
You have-
that was one, I'll concede that point, that I wanted to see the pairing of the South Americans in, the midfield. I wanted Ugarte
And
to play with
Ten Hag
Casemiro.
didn't try that. He
And
kept
he
on
did
playing
not try
Eriksen.
it. Yeah. But I mean, in his defense, Eriksen was really putting in the effort in that particular point in time. You need somebody like Casemiro and Ugarte to put in those tackles inside, put your body on the line. A central defensive midfielder has to do that. I think Casemiro reads the game really well. He knows when to put in his tackle.
When you use players like Casemiro and Ugarte properly, you know that
The front has the agency to then move out and move
And that
do
was
what you
not-
can. I think Garnacho had a little bit of discipline under Ten Hag as well. There was some sort of, it was getting clearer as to what his role is. It was never clearer. It was initially not clear because, you've got a young boy, he's just gotten into the team and then banged in that bicycle against Everton. What a cracker of a goal that was last season. Picked up, I think, the best goal for the season for that particular strike as well. From what I think is that Hoyland is a case that we saw he was running unnecessarily everywhere. Zirkzee, what is his role going to be? Because Ten Hag got him here, and now Amorim is going to be like, what do I do with him? Is he going to fit into his plans or not?
funniest
That's
thing is
another
that
thing to
Zirkzee
look at.
is not kind of an Amorim player,
Yeah.
So that will be interesting to see because
What he does with Amorim, what he does with Zirkzee now.
what does he do with him? Because players like Gyökeres, Hoyland, those are Amorim kind of players. So Zirkzee is not a player that Amorim specializes in, up front. Because I will tell you, like Hoyland is a proper number 9 up front. But Zirkzee likes to fall
Drop
deeper.
back, yeah. He's more like the Zlatan Ibrahimovic of Deutschland.
And Amorim doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
So where do you put him? That's the question. Because
Well, now Amorim has, at least he's, given some sort of confidence that he's okay with Ugarte staying there. He's okay with Zirkzee staying there. I don't know how he's going to fit in the bill, fit in the plans. But the mood in the Carrington is absolutely phenomenal. Let me again tell you, what a great time for Amorim to join. At Carrington, it's all smiles. It's a change of guard. People are happy. And right before this change of guard, I mean, Ruud van Nistelrooy has really lifted up the spirits in the United camp. Bruno Fernandes is coming up with the goods. Garnacho is coming up with the goods. What a great color against Leicester City. By the way, the team won 3-0 against Leicester City. Did not give them much to do. The defense line looked solid. The passing was immaculate. I mean, for the very first time this season, I saw games being built right from the back, from Onana's feet right up till Hoyland's feet. Everybody getting involved in the gameplay, and that's something really great to see.
I have a question for you. Do you have like Nistelrooy to stay?
Oh, 100%, man. The best thing that I thought was after the first game, with Ruud van Nistelrooy in charge, and the first goal that was put in, more than the player celebrating, it was Ruud van Nistelrooy who ran up the touchline. He gave that jump. It was like, it was the man himself. And I remember when I started watching football back in 2003, my first jersey that I bought was Ruud van Nistelrooy's jersey. He was a star striker back in the day. I remember him taking that penalty with that, that middle partition, long hair, looked, like a hunk on the pitch. The tall Dutchman. And he set some fantastic records in the Premier League. Only Jamie Vardy came close in that one particular season when the Leicester City won the Premier League. He beat Ruud van Nistelrooy's 11 consecutive games scoring. Otherwise, it was him all throughout.
Yeah.
And I think because he understands what the club is, he understands what the player really demand. He understands what the player...
Ronaldo speaking. Ronaldo said something similar.
Yeah. No, Ronaldo said, "I scored the goals." Ronaldo was already worried about the goals. But, another thing that I disliked about Ten Hag was that if he really did have to go, and with the Ineos marketing leadership also, I could have really witnessed United go down the drain with Ronaldo playing a couple of more games in that red jersey. But that's just a little Ronaldo fanboy in me talking. All in all, it was a good performance by United. The sky's the limit for sure. Yeah. But at least the confidence is back. Amorim is in. There's a change of guard. Things are looking livelier, likelier. In 250th appearance, Bruno Fernandes scores a goal, puts in that brace. I think also the second goal came off his thigh when he was coming in. Yeah. And he even said so that it's my thigh, but then it was deflected and it was given as an own goal. Then the third goal by Garnacho. I mean, a 20-year-old boy with that kind of confidence. Wow.
Ronaldo fanboy.
Wow. Could be. An Argentinian Ronaldo fanboy. That says something.
That says something, yeah.
And they're playing Ipswich next.
Oh, easy game. Yeah. Easy game. But I'll tell you what, with Ipswich, and we'll talk about Ipswich and Tottenham, I think, as well. Yeah. Because Ipswich, the thing is, because they've just been promoted, and I've seen this time and again, with teams that just get promoted, they have this nothing to lose attitude. Yeah. Unko koi farak nahi padta. Unko lagta hai ki bas we gotta be out there, enjoy as many Premier League games as we can with this atmosphere, with this kind of fan following. And which is why they always hit the ground running. Sometimes early running doesn't help you. Sometimes it does. People say, in knockout games, early running doesn't really help you. So Champions League, you'd see a boring 0-0 clash or a 1-1 clash back when we had those home draws and away draws. Yeah. Because it was a knockout thing. You necessarily don't want to, do the early running and then tire yourself out and lose possession when the other team can quickly strike. But with Ipswich, they don't think twice. And more often than not, they end up with a goal. Yeah. Then it's a situation of how long can you sustain yourself against a good team, against experienced campaigners. But they do the early running and they put in the goal, and that's what works out for them. So that's something that United will have to be wary of, because that is where conceding goals is United's favorite thing.
And do you see Amorim putting his specialized formation in that first match?
Everybody's talking about it. It's all over the internet.
Yeah, he uses 3 defenders, 3 central defenders, then 2 wingers.
What works out for him is that there was this meme that as soon as Luke Shaw heard that Amorim is back, he just got somebody getting off the off the wheelchair and running. You're like, Amorim is here. I got to show him what I can do. But with Luke Shaw on one side, Diego Dallo, somebody who can play that extensive winger role. You've got Mazraoui. What a player. I mean, he's come in and he started all games. So it's intense.
Do we put Dallo and Mazraoui, or do we put Shaw? Because Shaw is still coming back.
See, I'm for a left position with a left foot, something that needs to be done with the left foot. I think there are very less left-footed left backs like Luke Shaw in the Premier League.
Malacia is back as well.
Malacia is back as well. Thank God. Thank you. See, that's what I'm talking. It's such a great time to be a United supporter these days, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you, but let nobody pull you down. It's great to be a United supporter. Yeah, Malacia is back. I mean, with these good names, I couldn't care, man. Put Harry Maguire in the centre.
Okay. I mean, he's a good defender.
Yeah, imagine you've got an Ugarte, you've got a Casemiro, you've got Dallo, Mazraoui, or a Luke Shaw, or Malacia. Then you've got Lindelof, De Ligt, Harry Maguire, Lisandro Martinez. Let's not put the butcher away. I mean, put me in the middle of all of these, and I'm going to be a happy man. Okay. Won't have to do much. These guys are doing most of it for you. And with the patient passing that I was talking about, Ugarte and Casemiro or Christian Eriksen, if they can, push the ball forward with the right kind of patience and assessing where transition needs to be best. Phir aage you've got Rashford, Garnacho. The list is quite long, my friend. Well, very, very good time to be United.
Well, Man United is on their dreamland again, but we will see if it breaks down again, because that has been the case in the last 10 years.
But you know what? United is also very generous. We like to give small teams big headlines. And maybe next week we'll give Ipswich Town something to be happy about.
The new Robin Hood of Premier League.
Yeah. Yep.
Tottenham versus Ipswich.
Yeah, we were talking about Tottenham.
Yep.
Left it too much.
Inconsistent.
I feel sorry for Heung-min Son because I think he's a phenomenal player. And Timo Werner, he should have put 2 goals inside that game. I remember categorically. I watched that game
What
as well.
went wrong with Warner? He was supposed to be the next.
Big thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, the next big thing. What happened with him was that he was basically, and it's the problem with the coaches at RB Leipzig. It's with the coaches in Germany, in Dortmund. You know, everybody kept on pushing him up this big branch, you know, telling him you are such a great striker. With speed comes the lack of stability. With speed comes the lack of balancing. With speed comes the lack of when to shoot, you know, the right kind of strike.
I mean, they compared him to Miroslav Klose.
Yeah, yeah. Which is unreal, which is unheard of, because Miroslav Klose, before Timo Werner got his first cap for Germany, he was still playing for Germany, still racking up that goal and made another record. Let's not do that. Let's not do injustice to Miroslav Klose. What a fantastic football player, as far as the World Cups are concerned. But Timo Werner, I think Tottenham could afford somebody like only somebody like a Timo Werner with the price tag that Timo Werner had. And you've got what's the name of the other winger? Robertson. No.
They have Son in the other side. They have Solanke.
Johnson.
Brennan Johnson at the right.
Yeah, Johnson. You got Johnson on the right. And he's also a slender-looking fellow. Yeah. He's a speedy-looking fellow.
And he's in form.
Yeah, and he's in form. So he's doing what Timo Werner hasn't been able to do. And he's costed way less than, you know, Timo Werner. Now, with Timo Werner, the problem is that his finishing is off point. I'm just going to say it here, man. 10 times out of 20 times, my dog would probably, put it inside the net.
True. And even his runs are absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah. Sometimes he'll clear everybody. Yeah. He'll be like, whoa, what just happened? And then he's going to scuff his shot right at the end minute.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, how does that happen?
That is the problem.
Postecoglou, he's having one-on-one sessions with Timo Werner, let me tell you, in the locker room.
What's he saying? I want to know. What's he saying?
He's basically... You remember? I want to know. Yeah, you remember that scene from Goal, where you've got Santiago Munez and his Newcastle coach telling him he's kicking the ball and he's like, what can reach there faster? And he runs there and he's like, I pass. He's basically trying to tell him the ball travels faster than the player. But over here, it's Postecoglou telling Timo Werner the same thing, and Timo Werner not learning the lesson.
Ball leke to daud, ball yahan hai, tu daud ke chala ja raha hai.
That's exactly what's happening. So that's the problem. But I think Timo Werner is the least of their troubles at this point in time. You've got Romero, you've got all these other top-notch players who are not coming up with the goods. You've got a little bit of injury problems on the left-back side also with Udige. So that's a little bit of a concern, but I think it's just a sorry patch for Tottenham. The minute they're going to get back into form, they're again going to start climbing back up. It's always the case. By the end of the season, your Tottenham is there in that
form against City.
In that 6 and 7. Maybe, you never know. I would love that. And with City's own streak in the last 4 or 5 games, everybody's going to bet on Tottenham to at least clinch a draw, if not a victory. So that's something that needs to be looked at. But against Ipswich, and let's not take anything away from Ipswich. Like I said, they did the early running. They ran a riot. They ran them through, and that's what happens with these the lower starter teams that have just come back up. They have nothing to lose. They're hitting on all balls. They're all cylinders are running. Nobody's tired. That's the big point. Nobody's tired in these small teams. They all want to give it out. They all want to leave every iota of their gas tank on the pitch.
True.
They don't bring it back.
I'm very excited to see how they play against
United. Yeah.
And how United play against them.
We'll tell about it.
Big test for Amorim. Big test.
7-0.
7. Come on, guys. This is
The excitement Ten Hag brought.
Yep.
United fans and
Man, imagine if they do end up winning 7-0, what's going to happen with Ten Hag, dude? He's going to be sitting there looking at Ruud van Nistelrooy. Firstly, he's going to be texting Ruud van Nistelrooy, like, dude, can you, for some grace, lose, at least draw a match, man.
You know the funniest thing? Ten Hag went to watch an Ajax match, right? And Ajax were on a 4 winning streak, and they drew the match. They were on a 4 winning streak, right?
And Ten Hag went to watch the match.
And they drew it. Can you, this is poetic. This is poetic.
Yep. Could be. Yeah, some things are just not meant to happen, man. Like, with the entire Ragnarok and, I'm the interim for Ten Hag and all of that has been put in plan for, years on end. I did not like this whole Dutch infiltration into the system. As a matter of fact, I honestly did not like the playing style of Louis van Gaal as well when he was there. I think it was Mourinho, and after Mourinho, I think Solskjaer did the best he could. And after that, we finally had Ruud van Nistelrooy. He should have stayed, man.
Where do you put David Moyes? The successor
Way,
of
way above Ten Hag and Louis van Gaal for sure. Yeah, he brought Fellaini to the club, man. I was a big Fellaini fan because that man, he could stop ball no matter what ball you gave him. A fiery speed bullet, whatever you gave him, he's going to stop it. Apni chhati pe rok lega, apne thigh pe rok lega. Like where people would take another second to bring the ball under their spell, Fellaini would just have it already there. He just couldn't score as much as he was the talisman and the skipper for Everton, but he was a good player. And he bought some other players also. Plus with David Moyes, he did not have much command under him. The bigwigs were making all the moves for him. And with that, he kept up the prestige of the club for as long as he could, and that was right after Sir Ferguson.
That was too much.
That was too much to take in. I think he came out with flying colours. Given the fact that after that he again went back to some other Premier League club. I'm forgetting the name. I think he went back to West Ham as well after that.
He went back to Everton, then West Ham.
Yeah. So he was not out of a job.
Yeah.
He had credibility in his profession, and that goes a long way, man.
Yeah. The final one I'm going to put Chelsea versus Arsenal, and my
Dude, the most boring game of the week.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, and my colleague, he's a big fan of Chelsea. I'm missing him right now because he had he didn't have high hopes. He never has.
I'm going to start with Chelsea Arsenal, right? Now, talking about Arsenal.
Is he feeling cold?
Yeah.
Cole Palmer.
Yeah.
I mean, again, Cole Palmer was absolutely marked out in that match. Like in the previous episode, we talked about how Maresca has to find a solution for Cole Palmer. Because when he's playing in the middle, there are just too many people guarding him.
Yeah.
He's not able to get that freedom.
Yeah, he's not able to turn around. He needs just a second to actually assess, and people are cutting that second off of him.
Exactly. And now, due to that, Palmer has to drop deep.
Yeah.
Right. And that's creating a lot of issues up front for Chelsea. When they were scoring, Palmer was up there. And you have Noni Madueke at the side.
Yeah.
You have Jadon Sancho at the side. It was all working out. But when you put Palmer out of that, right, when you mark him out, nothing is working out.
Yeah.
And I have been stressing this for the past few weeks that Maresca has to find a solution. Yeah. But again, kudos to Arsenal for doing that. But then again, if we talk about Arsenal, their lack of strikers in that team has been creating the issue over and over again.
But how is that a problem? See, you've got Jesus.
Jesus has not been a...
Yeah. Not been a main name for a very long time because, Havertz is doing the job for them. But with Havertz, Bukayo Saka, Leandro Trossard, you've got Odegaard. Odegaard was welcomed back on the pitch.
Yeah. Odegaard was the
He played the full 90 as well, I think. Yeah.
He was the most brightest player on the pitch for Arsenal. Right. He created 4 chances. He was the main man, creating all the up and down, right?
Man, Moreno could have scored with his first touch after he entered.
Yeah.
That couldn't have happened. But see, with Jadon Sancho's marriage with Cole Palmer and Madueke, and you've got several other players as well, man. Raheem Sterling's back in Chelsea.
No, Raheem Sterling has been went to loan to Arsenal.
Oh, he's gone to Arsenal now?
Yeah. But that's the funniest thing. They're not playing him.
But they don't need him. I wouldn't play Raheem Sterling, man, to be very honest. When you've got Gabriel Martinelli on the left side, I don't need a Raheem Sterling.
But Saka is not working out.
Yeah, a non-working Saka is still better than a working Raheem Sterling at this point in time. Trust you me. That man is beautiful.
His opinion, not mine.
Saka
His opinion.
Saka is absolutely beautiful, man. But yeah, he was a little bit absent from the last game. But Pedro Neto, what a time to score your first goal for the club, man.
Yeah.
What a time to score your first goal for the club.
Pedro Neto just snatched away Sancho's starting place from him,
Yeah.
Like it was going to be Sancho who's going to start the matches for Chelsea, but then Pedro Neto put that amazing performance against Liverpool.
Yeah.
Now he has taken away the place completely, and he's putting his performances in, right? Pedro Neto is proving that he deserved that.
Even though in that very game at halftime before they took Jadon Sancho off, Jadon Sancho did a good job with the marking for Mohamed Salah. But then they took him off. Pedro Neto did a good job, and after this last, he got the man of the match, I think, Pedro Neto.
Yeah.
After getting the man of the match against Arsenal, salvaging that point and keeping Chelsea's own, morale high because they've been playing really well over the last couple of games as well. I think he has sort of put Jadon Sancho on the sideline. I think that is just Jadon Sancho's curse, man.
Do you see Arsenal winning the league after those performances?
See, yet again, man, Arsenal is way out of the question. If we're not confident about City winning the league right now, then how can we be confident about Arsenal winning the league?
Then who are your top two contenders for this year's league? Early predictions.
Early predictions.
Well, Liverpool is certainly going to be there just
Yeah.
because of like logic and statistics and data. And I'm not going to vouch for United because, I mean, you'd see me running naked in the street if that happens. Even if they come second now, you'd see me running naked in the street. But I'm going to vouch for Manchester City.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
You cannot write them off. You can
Never, ever.
Write them off.
Never ever.
Definitely.
I'm telling you, Kevin De Bruyne, the minute he starts feeling the ball right, the minute he's going to put the ball, he's going to be like, Haaland, where do you want it? You want to shoulder this ball in? I'll give it to you right here. I'll give it to you. You can just shoulder it in. That's what's going to happen.
He is. That's the impact he can bring to this.
Yep.
side.
And with Guardiola, just doing his defensive duties, with let's say Rodri also coming back into the fold towards the end of the season, well, way before the end of the season, Kevin De Bruyne coming back in, and once you have Kevin De Bruyne, Rodri, Gundogan, Phil Foden, Bernardo Silva, I mean these 4 or 5 guys, they can do the trick for you. Then you don't need. I mean then Nunez and Savinho and Haaland, they're all auxiliary things. They're all like
Haaland is auxiliary.
You just keep running. Yeah.
Haaland is auxiliary.
When De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva and Gundogan and Rodri, they're in their form, then all Haaland needs to do is find himself some space. That's it.
Yeah.
He just
That's
needs
it.
to put the ball inside.
He doesn't even need to shoot. Like sometimes he's running and they place the ball where his foot comes and he'll just score it.
Yeah.
That's how it happens.
Yeah.
True.
That's how good that team is actually. Wow. Which is why, again, what a great day for football that Pep Guardiola has lost 4 matches in a row, man. What a great day.
It is a big.
Yep. So, do we have any more matches to talk about? I think these were the prime
Yeah.
matches
Prime
that we
matches.
looked at. I think very quick,
Who's,
just a
Chelsea?
quick mention. Newcastle beat Nottingham Forest. I was really impressed because I'm
Yeah.
really impressed with Nottingham Forest, how they are playing.
Yeah.
Muembo, you've got that.
Olaina is doing
Yep, yeah,
absolutely
absolutely.
fantastic job at the back.
You have that Anthony Elanga.
Anthony
Elanga is there. So yeah, you have him also. He's also putting in a good shift every time. I'm seeing he's starting each and every game also for Nottingham Forest. So Newcastle beating them. Isaac, Joe Linton. This is after going 1 goal down. Joe Linton, what a phenomenal striker, midfielder he's turning into be.
Yeah.
Isaac, what a great person. And Barnes, man. Barnes is also putting in the right kind of effort.
I mean, Harvey Barnes was bought due to that.
Yeah.
His ability and his work rate throughout the 90
Work rate
minutes.
is next level. You're right.
Right. His work
next
rate
level.
is absolutely amazing. You'd need players like that in your.
Where did he come from? Leicester City.
Yeah.
Harvey Barnes came in from
Yeah.
Leicester City, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, so see again, Leicester is again one of those teams that really puts, emphasis on the young, heavy work rate
Yeah.
players. So those are some of the crucial games. In terms of the games that are coming up between Manchester United and Ipswich, just a quick mention, I think we all know what's going to happen on that front.
7-0?
Yeah, 7-0. Yeah. Yeah.
What if it's Ipswich 2, Man United 0?
Well, then I wouldn't be shocked or surprised. Like I told you, we like to give small teams big
Self-ever
headlines.
Man United fan.
Something for Ipswich and Ed Sheeran fans to talk about.
So whom does Chelsea face next?
Leicester City.
Leicester City against Chelsea. I think this is going to be a nice game. Every time Chelsea have faced Leicester City, it's always a cracker of an affair. And I remember Kante and Drinkwater were hired by Chelsea instantly after that Leicester City season because Chelsea was really impressed. I don't know why United never picked up Kante anyway. Let those skeletons be in the closet for now. Danny Drinkwater was there. It's always a tough fight between them, but
Leicester has not been performing.
yeah, they're not doing
quite
well.
well,
They're
right?
not doing well.
So I see Chelsea taking this one
Yep,
out.
yep.
So prediction.
Chelsea for sure. I think Chelsea would be at least 2 goals
Yeah.
2
through.
goals. What
Same.
about you?
2 goals.
I'm
At
going to
least
go
2.
with 3-0. I've
Okay.
seen them dominating Leicester at this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
They can. They can.
Right.
do that.
And whom does Arsenal face next?
Arsenal are going for Nottingham Forest.
Oh, this is going to be interesting.
Yeah, see, now again I
This
told
is
you,
good.
Nottingham Forest can give Arteta the upset of this season.
Yeah.
They could very well hand him that upset.
They could just snatch away whatever hopes they had.
Yeah,
for
but
the
let's
league,
not
right?
discount the fact that Odegaard is back,
Yeah.
and with a couple of more sessions, couple of more drills and trainings with the team, I think Odegaard is going to make sure that, hey, look, fun time is over, captain
Yeah.
is back.
Yeah.
We got to start getting back because what a phenomenal season last year. Yeah.
Yeah. He was carrying the Arsenal team.
right till the end game. I mean, the way Odegaard literally carried the team. And of course, Declan Rice is doing his bit, Bukayo Saka is doing his bit, Martinelli doing his bit, Saliba, Gabriel in the back. Everybody did their bit. The team looked like a unified, strong force, but Odegaard was that driving factor. And he's back now, so let's not discount that. I think I'm going to give this 2-1 to Arsenal.
2-1. Makes
To
sense.
Arsenal.
What about you?
Around that.
I'm going to go with a draw.
Yeah?
I'm going to go
Want
with
to make things interesting for Mikel Arteta.
Yeah. I'm going
Yeah.
to go with a
1-1
draw.
or 2-2?
1-1.
1-1.
1-1 draw. Okay, but you know what? Who saves a point and who loses 2 points?
Oh. This is interesting. Obviously, Arsenal loses 2 points.
Arsenal loses 2
Yeah.
points
Yeah.
and they save another.
Yeah.
Nottingham saves a
Yeah.
point and
Yeah.
Arsenal lose 2 points.
Yeah,
I think
definitely.
if it's a draw, it's going to be Arsenal saving 1
Arsenal,
point.
because Arsenal needs to win.
Yeah.
They have
Yeah.
not been winning for a long time. They
I think
need
it's
to
going to be
win this.
Arsenal,
Yeah.
bagging at least that extra point. Another interesting game to look at next season is, of course, going to be Manchester City and Tottenham.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's going to be the game of the week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like we've said it before also, Tottenham has handed out defeats to big teams, but then like you guys call them the
Yeah.
Robin Hood of Premier
Yeah.
League.
Yeah.
They might just, buckle in front of a good team, a good Manchester City team, because Pep Guardiola is going to be making
Yeah.
sure that next game is going to be a prestige issue.
Yeah.
It can't be 5-0 anymore. It can't be 5-0. It's going to be anything. You've got to pay off all the refs and everything on the VAR. We didn't say it here.
Well,
Anything's going to happen, but City is not going to lose that next game, lose that next game. But, it's a lot of pressure is riding on the shoulders of Postecoglou as well. He might well be on his way out if he's unable to, put up with the goods.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a very difficult but an interesting game to watch.
again, I
nonetheless.
see a draw coming.
See a draw?
Yeah.
I would be happy with the draw. I think the rest of the 18 teams are going to be very happy with the draw,
Yeah.
let alone Liverpool and Arsenal
Yeah.
and Chelsea.
Yeah.
I mean, if Haaland still doesn't work out in the next match, I see a draw coming. Because Tottenham aren't that bad. If players like Haaland, if players like Foden are not working, you wouldn't see a team like Tottenham losing after that. Because they have the players as well to pull them out, right? They have Brennan Johnson, who's in an excellent form,
Yeah.
right? They have Dominic Solanke, who has been scoring for Tottenham and who has broken a record in the camp, right? You have Son. You don't see them losing after that. So I see a draw coming, to be honest.
Because you have these hefty players in the back also. I really like Pedro Porro. He puts in a great shift every time. He's going to be easily able to tackle Savinho or whoever's playing the right wing. It's going to be the central defenders of how well they're able to, manage
Both teams.
Erling Haaland. Yeah.
And I guess it goes for both teams, how well their central defenders do.
Man, the other side we know. The other side, the blue central defenders are phenomenal.
But they conceded.
Yeah, they concede, but
They
they're
conceded.
usually phenomenal.
In
Yeah.
the last 4 matches, they have conceded. That's the
usually-
issue.
I think the Manchester City defense is going to be way more stronger than Tottenham Hotspur's defense. But it's anybody's game, like we're pointing out, because both managers are facing the heat, and only one is going to be able to come out on top. It's not all going to be all smiles at the Etihad this time. That's for sure.
Well, that's all time we have.
But that's all. That's all.
Yeah.
Well, before we wrap this up, is this the best time to be a United fan, ladies and gentlemen?
Again, Man United fans and their dreamland. Anyway, thank you everyone. This is Kabir, excellent guy. This is Rohin, and you guys know me. I'm Nilohit. So please subscribe, please like, and please comment in our video. Thank you.